Let's try this again. We drove about 4 miles.
Paul, come on.
Waiting for some people to log back on.
Why don't you sit over here? Instead of being on me, sit right there.
You shut that light up above us, Rachel. Yeah, it's better.
Oh, Polly!
Just waiting for some people to log back on. It's going to take a few minutes, I understand. Post it to groups.
Trying.
Just waiting for some people to log in.
It's saying waiting for BALERMAN.
Come on.
Did I share the wrong link?
You might have. Because I have nobody that's looking at it right now. There's nobody here. Oh. Coming in now, Rachel. Getting ready to upload another photo to the Hey Baler Nation.
I think so.
You're the only one logged in?
I think so.
That's odd. Now it just lost you.
I'm trying to delete the last post.
I already did on one. Little energy shot.
I think.
Just waiting for some more people to log on, put a comment out, see what state you're from, what you're up to today. We're just doing a live broadcast from Knoxville, Tennessee. Roger Cord put this up. It's an Oliver Baler. It's in Missouri, guys. 620 wire tie. Does anybody got any questions? Here doing some cleanup work on a few balers here. Going to Marysville Tennessee to work with Brent Lale to do his balers. Some infield tune-ups, I think Wednesday afternoon or Thursday. So today's Monday. Tomorrow I'm working on a few balers here, and then I'll probably be moving forward onto there after tomorrow. So today's been kind of a catch-up day. We've been hustling and bustling, so waiting for some more people to log on.
What do you need? How about we have this? No, no milk. No milk. No. Oh, Ross is there.
Hey Ross, thank you, sir. Put the word out. Ross has kind of been my manager here for a while, so kind of keeping things straight. And he said I was quiet a few days, and I've been hustling and bustling, and we did a lot of balers in a short time, and I had to do a lot of driving to get from where I had to be to where I got. So. The kids are playing. I'm looking like, guys, I'm about down to after I get done with the ones here, I'll be down to 10 balers left. So 4 of those are going to be heavy rebuilds, so we're going to be quite a few days on those. And then the remaining bunch will be in West Virginia on my way up from North Carolina. So once I get there and get these taken care of. So try not to take any more jobs on, guys, but if there's an emergency and you guys are bailing and it breaks down, obviously I'll take care of it. But
And you're in our line of paths.
what's that? Yeah, if you're in our line of path, we're not going out of our way right now. Trying to get home.
Our boss needs us.
Yeah, my boss needs me back. Been more than patient. This has been phenomenal tour, guys. I fixed a lot of balers, done a lot of wonderful things, enjoying myself actually a little bit. It's nice to have a little more reprieve days in between these balers, but you know, life goes on. Those are the ones after today. I'm gonna be over 70 balers on this tour, guys. Probably when I'm done, maybe hits 82, 83 maybe, if there's nothing else pops up. On pace to hit 400 balers this year, guys. It looks like maybe the summer will be less likely since I fixed a bunch last year in our area and a bunch in Ohio. Maybe that'll cut back and I won't do as many this year. Definitely could use the break. I'd rather get into doing more technical stuff and more parts, but if the demand's there, I'll be there to do it. So anybody got any questions?
There's 2 people on, and it looks like
I know.
it's me and Ross.
Well, Ross is a good egg, so
I shared it, but it's in the middle of the day on a Monday.
I know.
Everybody's at work.
I know. So anyways, guys, I'm going to stay logged in here. Ross, you got any questions for me?
Hey, that doesn't go in there. We had 4, but we used it.
All right, guys. You baled your baler yet, Ross? Imagine the hay's starting to grow a little bit over
Oh, we
there.
got another person. We got 3
So,
now.
I'm just checking my phone here, guys. Anybody got any questions? Post them up, make comments. Try to answer them the best of my ability. We're in Knoxville, Tennessee, heading back south. Gonna go to Marysville, Tennessee. Got just a couple balers to do there. And then we'll be heading to Kings Mountain, North Carolina. That's some major rebuilds there. I will be there quite a few days. Get that wrapped up. Then I'm heading north, and then I'll be in West Virginia. Take care of a bunch there. And guys, then I will be on the home stretch. Heading home, and I'm probably not going to get much relaxing time, which it's kind of understanding. So Yeah, how tall is it, Ross? Everybody tell me back home, hey, he's kind of short.
Get that off.
Yeah, if you got any questions, guys, please ask. Just post up a comment what state you're from. Rachel's still working on the merch, so we're gonna pick. Maybe we'll pick somebody today. If we get enough logins, and somebody will get a probably one of our fancy business cards she likes to make.
No, it might be a desk calendar. It might not.
A desk calendar. She doesn't know what. She hasn't decided. Jump in the air. Tell her to pull the trigger, and she doesn't pull the trigger.
NC Davis is on. We just got some of my first cutting down in Idaho. Should be
Cool.
the rest next week.
Davis, how tall's your grass doing out there?
Davis is in Idaho.
Yes, that's all I'm asking.
Where do you think you're going?
Anybody got any questions? Like I said, the trip's been going good so far, guys. Had some pretty difficult challenges. Had a really odd, did some balers in outside Cincinnati, Ohio, and it was a gentleman that does a lot of baling with inline balers. And dealer said they rebuilt the knotters and they never set them up. I thought that was odd, and they wouldn't come back out like they were blowing him off. And pretty much all it was is just there set him up. I taught him a few things on what to do, what to adjust. So, kind of a tragic story there with him is he got Lyme disease and he almost was crippled, totally crippled. He's getting around okay now, but big shout out to him. I'll be keeping him in my prayers. Definitely got some good help there with him, so he should be working on that. Anybody else got any questions? Wait for a few more people to log in. I know I came in early today, guys. I had to because the place we stay at, the internet is trash. So we're at.
If we don't want to be at Walmart in the dark. Stop it.
Is the hay a little shorter for this time of the year, Davis, than it was last year at this time?
I'm trying to sit up. You let go.
Anybody else got any questions?
Hopefully may be feeling this evening, percent chance of rain tomorrow.
Oh boy, you round baling Jeanette, or I stopped off in Bowling Green. Yeah, we've been hearing last Friday in New York they got a 24-degree killer frost again. A tough, rough frost. Saw some pictures from some people back there. There's some fields that look okay, and there's some fields that don't look okay. So definitely those of us that didn't use any fertilizer or any manure, you're going to pay the price this year. Surmising the hay in New York's going to be kind of short, just judging by the way things are going. They say it's getting really dry there. So I'll know better when I get home. Maybe this year I can actually get around to doing some projects on my own. Got some restorations to do. Big shout out to Evan Goodrich. We're trying to do an old farms days type deal. We don't know where it's going to be, if it'll be in New York Valley or not. But yeah, if you got anybody interested in that, shoot me some ideas and some equipment you got. Davis, you need to have the other one I got. I got another 224 wire tie with a number 30 kicker on it. I bailed with it last fall. I don't know if you saw the videos of it. So, but great balers, guys. The John Deeres. Running into some issues with the inline Massey's. Not real happy with AGCO right now. We had a baler go down and the bearings seized up because of sand got into the bearings. It's a 3-year-old baler. The bearing seized up and gouged the rails out, and it took me almost a month to get the rails, complete rails for the inside that baler, and I thought that was ridiculous. We paid a lot of freight because we tried to get them as soon as we could, and everything trickled in. I wasn't impressed with that. That would scare anybody out there. Being a 3-year-old baler, there should be parts all over the place for that thing, but it wasn't. They had the bearings. They had, I think, some of the knives. There's one knife said it was on back order, but they got that to me in about a week. But the rails was almost ready. I said we were at the 28-day mark. And if you're broke down and say you're running these balers, so I'm telling you right now, guys, you better diversify. Have a green baler, another red baler, New Holland, Massey, because it seems like all of them are having difficulty getting parts. John Deere's been okay, but like anything, guys, nothing's cheap. Everything's gone out of sight for prices on parts, actually. But I was really shocked to have a 3-year-old baler that we had to rebuild, and I had to wait 28 days. I'm actually getting ready to do it again on my way back to put it together for the guy. I think he bought a New Holland BC 5070 hayliner, which thank goodness that one hadn't bailed that, but had some poor help that didn't set up the rake right, and it raked a lot of sand into the windrow, and it didn't take long to destroy the baler after about 4,000 bales of really, really dirty hay. It did a number on the bearings in the baler, real bad. I can't call it sand. It's really, really fine. It's like powder. It's almost like baby powder sand. And it got right in there, just chewed the bearings right up. I've never seen anything quite like it. It got in there, just kind of seized them up, and all the bearings on the plunger for the support were just sliding on the rail, or just chewing it up. And then obviously the plunger knife started catching, after that took place. So we're going to rebuild that and get that one back going for him, and then we're going to go through and put new bearings in the New Holland as well, just to keep it freshened up and ready to go. But that'll be probably in 4 or 5 days. I'll be down there, and should be able to, if Rachel, the kids cooperate, we should be able to do a recording of that on that inline Massey 1840. So, yeah, it just disturbs me, guys. Make sure you guys diversify your balers. Keep a couple different colors, or keep extra parts in stock. I'd recommend definitely keeping a set of rails for at least one baler and some extra bearings for the plunger. It's best for you guys to have the parts on your shelf than versus the dealer have them, or hoping they have them, or the warehouse has them. So, or get a parts machine, which the 1840s, there's not that too many of them out there for parts yet. But yeah, it just disturbed me, guys. I thought AGCO was more organized than that to be 28 days out on set of rails for a baler. So I know a couple rails came in, but it was just weird to get them all. This is a baler they're producing. There shouldn't be an issue with getting rails and stuff and parts. So be interesting to see. Talk to some guys when I get down here in North Carolina that run a lot of them, and they're kind of concerned because I was calling them hoping that maybe some farmer had rails that we could get from them, and they were unaware, and they also tried to see if they could get the rails quicker, and they run into the same roadblock that I did. It was just like they weren't there. They didn't have them. Well, they're on order, but we just haven't received them yet. So definitely concerning. John Deere had trouble last year on a couple components I needed, but through the COVID thing, they were pretty decent. New Holland has not been good. I was really hoping they would be a lot better. The gearbox issue on the the BC 5070 hayliners, or you call it the SB 541C Case IH. The main drive gearbox, gentleman in western Ohio, towards Lima, Ohio, he we had to rebuild a couple gearboxes because he was doing 65, 70 pound stripper straw bales. The gearbox wasn't holding up; it was tearing up. So and couldn't get the gears inside. You get the bearings, but you couldn't get the pinion or the ring gear. You couldn't get the matching set, and couldn't get a gearbox from New Holland. You can get an empty shell, but you couldn't get a complete gearbox. And this is a baler that they're selling regularly, and there's no parts for it. So guys, yeah, it's getting disturbing how bad it's getting to get parts. So I tell people diversify, keep a couple different color balers on your farm. They're all pretty much the same, guys. They all got the same, wear aspects. It's just having something there different that you could get parts for. So no, they're not. That's the biggest thing, guys, is these balers have gotten stupid money. So, what's the new John Deere? I think without a kicker, list price was $44,000. I think over $40,000. The New Hollands are right up there too. The Massey's I think are close to there. Guys, I don't see it. I just don't. You don't see that. You get an automobile in that range. This is a square baler. There is nothing high tech about it. Okay, stamped steel. Some few mechanical parts on it, and these guys, if I had to guess, I think production costs on that machine, any of them, I don't care who makes it, and they're doing a mass volume, maybe $7 grand, $8 grand with the components on there, because they're buying at such a volume. I'm having a bunch of parts made myself, and I'm a low volume guy, and I'm seeing that they're rocking in some major profit on them, which. Stay tuned. I'm hoping with Mr. Barber's help, and I met a guy in Cincinnati that is a complete build stuff out of metal, and we're going to try building a baler, something more market friendly to the farmers, something with all the aspects, the good and the bad of all the balers. So,
the BALERMAN special.
Yeah, I guess they call it the BALERMAN special. It's going to be an interbred thing, guys. I was hoping, I put it out there. I might still do a contest where I want some of you guys farmers. You guys are ingenuitive guys. Cross up some of these balers, the good and the bad. The auger that's coming up, the baler that's coming up, it's going to have an auger in it no matter what. Guys, over the years, International proved, made really nice, super nice bales. John Deere's done it. The early 77 New Hollands have done it. I can't. You can get a decent bale out of the feed fingers here and there, but when it comes to a severe change in windrows or speed change, there's nothing that beats the auger, guys, for consistent flow feed to the chamber. So it's definitely got an auger in it. I might be going more towards the gear drive baler like the International, because I'm really impressed, guys, with how well built the International was. So yeah, Ross, I totally agree. Hey, I think I'm gonna have a mix of probably the gear drive and the International, and then I like the fact that I might have a gearbox with a pulley coming out, belt drive going down, with a shaft like the old Ford 530, 532s that drive the pickup head. I like that because it uses a universal joint on the shaft of the head, so as it floats, it follows it. Really like that design. It's not using a long shaft or chain on the other side. Nodder drive, I like how Kloss does it, and I mean, also International is they're gear driven. They're less likely to jump time. I mean, you're talking these balers are hitting 60, 70 years old, and they're still going, not jumping time. So I think it's not gonna be inline. Guys, the plugging problems on real super big windrows on the inlines, I'm not impressed at all. The clean out time sucks, one thing that's gonna be on that baler is the nodders are gonna be on the side of the baler. We're going back to 1950s when the 77 nodders are on the side and all the chaff falls off. We don't need to run electric fans. We don't need to run hydraulic driven fans. It's simple things. And how would you like to thread up a baler standing up instead of getting under the baler, or hitting a woodchuck hole on most balers where they can come up and pretty much smack the needles and break them? So yeah, Notter's going to be back on the side of the baler, guys. That's all there is to it. I'm just trying to, in my head, figure it out. But there's some ingenuitive farms out there, the hay producers. Jason Grady bringing up that baler that makes 2 bales at the same time. Kudos to him. Nice machine. But like I said, I'm going for more of practical reasons. I'm making this all gear drive. I ain't going to have no chains. Probably going to have a lot heavier flywheel, guys, because I want to go back to the point where you can run these with low horsepower tractors. You know, my Farmall 200 runs all my balers when I'm testing them. That's 19, 20 horse on a good day, and I have no trouble baling. Once I set the knives and everything else, and I make a good 40, 50 pound bale without an issue. It's just this craziness of all this needing this extra horsepower. I can see on the side hills for weight, but a lot of your Super M's and stuff, they're a heavy tractor to begin with. You know, even your John Deere A's, you know, the 620s, 520s, they're a good heavy tractor. So most guys are going to accumulators now, pulling a accumulator. You don't really need massive horsepower. So I'm probably going to offer a motor version and a PTO version to the baler, and it's just going to be probably a Harbor Freight Predator engine on there, more than likely. Probably going to make it so you can hook it behind your pickup truck. So you can sit in there and with a control remote and swing the baler over, start the motor, throw it up the throttle speed that you want, and bale hay with your pickup truck. You know, go out there and drop them on the ground. Because if you're running an Arcuzan, there's no sense of needing to run a tractor on a baler when you have a motor on one. But yeah, anyways, guys, like I said, I just probably gonna go with something. It's gonna be revolutionary. Like I said, I got working with this guy in Cincinnati, getting the funding put together. I already know what knotters are gonna be used. It's more than likely being on the side of the baler. It's probably gonna be the 77 New Holland knotters. Just a great, reliable knotter. Put some more. I put lots of restrictor plates in it. So. Yeah, well, that would have to have dolly wheels on it, Ross. I'm looking at putting a good, probably 300-pound flywheel on the front. Haven't decided what gearbox I'm going with, because International's been reliable gearboxes, so isn't John Deere. Very reliable. New Holland early balers were very reliable gearboxes as well, but probably shifting more towards the New Holland because they've already got a pretty good system, gear drive system. I think I'm probably going to go back to the 46 because I like the wet gearbox better with the, you know, the universal joint drive shaft to drive the baler, because you got 2 U-joints, and if you change them out and you put in the grease fittings, you can grease it and keep going, and it holds the baler in time. Wasn't a big fan of the dry gears. They do last a long, long time, but when a bearing goes bad, because obviously rain, moisture, and everything else, and it jumps time, and then you wreck things, or like that video you guys saw up in Juanita, Minnesota, where it chipped the tooth out because it jumped time a little bit. Just stuff like that. I just like wet gearboxes. You can change oil, refill it with new oil, and you don't see 46s with bad gearboxes, guys. You know, with the wet gearboxes, you guys do maintenance on them. Well, the idea I got, guys, is the pickup head part will actually swing back, so the baler will be like streamlined. And when you get to the field, the pickup head will swing over to give you that awesome, we're looking at probably an 8-foot wide pickup head on it. So it's definitely the John Deere 2 feeder packer forks that bring it into chamber. Probably going to be going with something like the International 56, where we're going to go with the 3-finger pull in to keep the density of the bale where we need to be. So, but just the fact of making that machine so it can swing back the pickup head and make it so it's a 6 or 7 foot transport width, and when you get to the field, the head could swing right back over, lock up and go. I think it's going to be vital, but I will offer some smaller models as well. But guys are always looking for a wider pickup head. I don't think you're going to beat having 8 foot. Just get it over with. Let's go 8 foot wide, and you know, offer that capacity. And the speed, I don't know what I'm going to set at. Probably going to be right around 100 strokes a minute. Not going to go with roller bearings, guys. I'm going to go back to what tried and true and that works, is the cast iron pads on the iron rails. Time again, you got Massey Ferguson 12s, you got John Deere 24Ts, 14Ts. You got a bunch of balers that were built with that. And you even got, like, I hate to say this, wood. I mean, you got the old 68 New Hollands with hard maple rails. I mean, they're putting 20 years on these things, guys. And this thing of these constant roller bearings, like, you know, you might get 5-6 years, and the old ones last a lot longer, but this new stuff is all built overseas, and they don't care. They want to sell you bearing and parts and stuff. And I just think I'm going to box that thing in, you know, and put right back to cast iron pads where you just shove a couple shims in to keep it snug and go. So, ain't definite on the design yet. My offer, yeah, it's guys, it's in the talking, and like I said, but I'm lining up the pieces to do it, to pull it off, just to get this thing going. And the problem is, I want to try to keep the price of the baler. If we build it and I get enough support behind it, I want to try to keep the sale price below 20 grand, or even less if it can be possible. I just don't see the reason for a baler being $40,000. There's just no way. There's not that much complicated components to it. And somebody's making a lot of money, which is nothing wrong with anybody making money, just not my money. So, oh, jeez. Okay, Rod. Yeah, guys, if you got any questions, but like I said, that's where we're going at with the development stages. I've been talking to people. It's interesting who I run into when I fix balers. You run into these metal fusion guys that can literally build anything out of metal. I saw some of the guys' projects. Phenomenal CNC work. So it's just getting the steel prices where we want, and putting this thing together. So this might be a project where it's like all the farmers going together on it, you know. And it's no managers, just everybody cooperating together to make a product that'll be out there. And of course, you know, support and parts. But we're trying to make this thing almost not bulletproof, guys, but pretty close. When you go out to the field, you can just go bale hay, you know. And I do like the shear pin on the feeder tines of the International. So if it hits a solid slug, it snaps the shear pin. The spring pulls the feed forks out of the way, and they don't get busted. So there's a lot of improvements on a lot of the machines, guys. And over the years of doing this, I've seen what works and what don't, and what really works in like different crops and materials. Yeah, definitely looking at building something here. And I had a few questions along this trip about a mini baler, possibly. And we put a lot of thought into it. It's not a huge market for that, guys. I mean, everybody likes to do those decorative bales, but I'm going more for production and more for longevity. But does anybody else got any questions? Her thing's up there to play a movie for her, Rachel. It's in the holder. Yeah, Ross, I know it is. That has been an impressive baler so far, guys. We got a couple of my personal friends that have them. They're like 30,000 bales their first year on it. They like the baler so far, but I'm not going to say anything because I want to see how bad it's wore after about 2 or 3 years on it. But it's an enticing price on a baler, 24 grand. So very enticing. But again, guys, I think even on that baler, I think they're 12 grand too high for what it would cost to mass produce those things. Yeah, you can, but everybody wants those decorative bales. I'm good friends with the Amish that were doing the conversions for Messick's on the 273s and them. So I don't know why, Davis, they do that. So the John Deere number 10 baler, I've got one now. Gentleman down in New Jersey owns it. He wants me to change it to twine. I've got the pieces. I'm trying to figure out how to do certain stuff on it. I've got my knowledge to do it, and I'm going to try to convert that baler to twine. So it's a wire tie now. We'll see how I make out on that. Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is, Davis, on that is that I think there's a lot of greed involved. I think we're paying for a lot of the management, paying for all this product support stuff, and I mean, there's not going to be much research need to be done because it's already been done for us. I mean, you've seen over the years what works, and putting knotters on the side of the baler Why are we not doing it? And I understand why, because when they're on top, dust collects, there's failures. They want to sell you fans. They want to sell you bill hooks, wiper arms, twine discs, because all the dust material collects there. We're talking a 77 New Holland, Super 77. Knotters are on the side, and we're talking, there's some of them out there. There's guys that are still baling 20,000 bales a year with those. They've rebuilt them a couple times, not the knotters, the plunger and stuff like that. And you're talking that thing's at 3-4 million bales, and it's still going. And I'm probably going to offer a baler just like the 77, because if you try to drill and put a moisture tester in the newer balers, you know how the drill bit just goes right through, and you start pulling balers from the 50s, and you try to drill in the side of the bale chamber, and all of a sudden, wow, your drill bit's dulling after the first or second hole, because they actually harden the chambers. That's why they wear so well. That's why they are lasting as long as they are. But obviously manufacturers want you buying more new balers, so that's why they don't do that no more. They just do soft grade steel. Well, Ross, yeah, that is true, but there's also a thing called, like when these co-ops get together and say you join it or you want to be a part of it, there's a thing, you sign a bunch of waivers in there, that you're assuming responsibility. Remember, it's back in the old days, there was none of this suing. I mean, if you were dumb enough to stick your fingers in a gear, you lost your finger, that was your lesson. Today's different, but obviously the machines, if I offered them for sale, would be a suggested donation price. So when you buy it, you own it. There's no retribution or anything else. So you're assuming full responsibility of the machine. So lawyers sometimes, guys, are necessary evil, but they still just eat up money, and it's not right. So trying to save people money on the production costs, like I said, it'd be nice to see what we can get this thing down to, lock all the pieces in. I'm not looking to make any money on it. I'm looking to produce something that maybe I don't have to travel the country. I can just go around and say, hey, this is all you need. So yeah, but as I said, this all could be avoided. Like I said, it's just, there's a lot of things in the States, guys, that you see for liability. Like the Amish, I mean, they pretty much, you see nobody trying to sue the Amish, because they just, like I said, they pretty much tell you you're assuming the responsibility of it. A lot of them do cash sales. They don't have receipts. There's nothing to track them back on. And like at an auction, guys, if you guys bought a used piece of equipment at an auction, you take it home, you know what it says in all that writing at the auction. You're buying it as is, where is, no warranty applied, express written or anything. So when it blows up and say it hurts you or whatever, the auctioneer is just going to say, well, you signed this when you picked it up, or you paid for it. So same thing, it's just amazing how far we've come. But like I said, the price of this stuff is ridiculous. There's no reason for it at all. If a farmer should be able to go out and buy a really beautiful square baler for around 20 grand. These prices of this other stuff, and guys, the steel's not in there. It's just not there. And they're being overpaid for what they think they got. So I think farmers out here in general, and you guys are the best ingenuitive people I've met. And I've seen some stuff where you guys have took manufacturers and they didn't do it right, and you guys modified it or welded or fabricated your own stuff. You guys made it way better, huge improvement, because you're in the field. You guys see all this stuff. These guys, engineers, are on a computer. They're like, oh well, this should work, and then you guys are paying the price for it, and it doesn't. So be interested to see. It'll be a few years down the road, maybe longer. Want to get all the components around. Maybe put a couple Frankenstein balers together and see how they hold up. I'll probably still myself be baling with my Internationals or my few of my John Deeres and my New Holland 77s. So I'm probably going to make the baler, if it's feasible, I'm going to offer one of those balers in like a mid-size hobby farm baler, and it will be a non-timing baler like the 77 was. I got I see all the mechanical devices that are on it to make it a non-timing baler, and I think that's a great thing for a homeowner, a weekend guy, or somebody that just doesn't want to have to learn how to time a baler. And it's so nice, the chain falls off, you put it on, the baler times itself. So, I mean, it's just, it's a great design. I mean, New Holland had their homework together when they came out with that. Well, Actually, Arthur Young did, and then when they built that first hay press. So, but obviously the dealerships figured out we can't sell parts if the chain doesn't jump out of time and break needles and everything else. So, but has anybody else got any questions? I had a piece of my nail busted off here for some reason. Ross gearboxes are simple. That's not an issue. There's quite a few companies that have approached me over in China. They could literally take one of the old international gearboxes, whatever they decide to go with, and we can build around it and send it over there and they can recast them. Or I can probably go to all these junkyards and just buy all these old international gearboxes, throw bearings and seals in them, sandblast them, clean them up, put them back in balers again. I mean, it's, you know, depends on what production costs are, but, you know, the old stuff's definitely better. And I'm all about recycling stuff, so. So anybody else got any questions? Grab a water. Hey Miller, that's good. That's a good price on a baler, such at 46. Awesome, guys. Davis, on the parts, you know, I just, it's gonna be one of those things where you just, you know, if it's not a huge wear item, probably stock, you know, a few dozen of them or something like that. International balers, guys, I'm sorry, they're a damn good baler and they're simple. Once you understand them, like I said, I got some timing videos I'm going to put up on YouTube, guys, on how if you have to take the gears apart or the shaft off. They're easy to work on. Nothing's complicated. So, Audie Tesh up in Juanita, Minnesota, I'll tell you, I did a bunch of international for him, and he had a rough couple days with me beating on him there to learn international balers. But yeah, the biggest thing with internationals, guys, is good twine and the update kit. You know, a lot of guys can make the other kits work, but the problem is it's not. You can use the knives from international. It's just stupid to pay them $24 for that blade. My kit, you can buy the blades yourself at the local hardware store for $5 for 4 of them or something like that, or $4 for 5 of them. I can't remember, but it's under $5 for blades. And that gives you a bunch of blades versus paying 24 or 25 bucks for one little tiny razor blade. And the biggest thing I got, guys, is my tension plate is a gauge heavier steel. And so far, we're going on year number 4, and they are holding up well. I think the max, I think right now is at almost 50,000 bales. And the only misties they've had is where they've tied the bundles together, so. What baler, Jay Miller? I mean, there's an adjustment rail underneath. I mean, when I set the knives, guys, remember at the bottom of internationals, there's called a backwards grind, like where the knives start to come together. They're actually ground so the knives want to slide away from each other. I've had people take it to somebody, they sharpen the whole knife, and they'll come right in and collide together, and that's a mess because that bends the knife and it's junk. Remember, make sure you at the bottom you'll see them. They're designed. And it's called a backwards grind because it's not ground like the rest of the knife. It's away from, so when the two tips come together, they want to go away from each other. Like it's like a starting point. And I set the knives so I get a piece of cardboard between them. I don't. Some people like to go like to the extreme, like really close. Not me. I just, because if you get any play in the plunger, they're going to connect, and it's just going to be a bad day. So, but there's a rail adjustment underneath there, Miller, on that 46 to adjust it over to hold the 2 knives tight together. There's the books have different settings, but like I said, I go by the cereal box lid. You know, I just put it through there, put the knives close together, and if I can slide the cardboard through and it's kind of snug, that's good enough for me. because I sharpen my knives quite often. And by the way, when you sharpen your knives, guys, use flat discs, 360 grit, and make sure when the wheel's rotating, it's going away from the cut edge of the knife, and you polish it back and forth. And if you turn the metal, get it hot, and it changes color, that you just weakened it. So make sure when you're sanding, you're not staying in the same spot too long. And if your knives are really bad, it's going to take a while to take the back of it down and put that nice, you know, slant on the knife so it cuts well. And guys, they don't have to be razor sharp because that wears off fast. By a few thousand bales, that razor edge is down to a dull knife again. So I'll put an edge on it like you would your lawnmower blades. Just kind of feels, it doesn't feel super sharp, but it's a good sharp edge. And if you ground the knife right, as that wears, it should keep the sharpness for a little bit as it wears. And it also goes on, guys, if you're baling grass hay, it really doesn't affect the sharpness of the knife. But if you're baling clover and alfalfa, it seems to really tear on the steel. So I think it's the lignin in the stalk that's doing it. I didn't really do much research on it, but I just noticed guys that bale a lot of alfalfa and clover, the knives take the abuse a lot. Any other questions, guys? Like I said, I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee right now. We'll try to get Patch Hendricks on here again with the bale skis on a weekend. Maybe we'll do a Saturday or Sunday. Hey, Icon, how are you? Nice to see you guys again. Icon, have to watch the video over again. We were talking about possibly in a few years here building, making a custom-built baler, something that's affordable for everybody. Trying to get some farmers in on this to come up with some different designs and approach me with it. So, it's just, I don't know, guys. It's just, I get fed up with the prices they're charging for stuff. You just don't see the value in it. So, but anybody got any other questions? We're coming up on 1 hour and a mark. I promised to get online today. It's been a few days. So, guys, I was in DeWitt, Iowa. I think was my last update video. I think I went to Oxford, got parts loaded up. Went to Kirksville, did the baler there, rebuilt it. Went to Bowling Green, fixed a, helped get a claws, claws round baler going for a guy. And then I drove all the way across, all the way to Cincinnati, Ohio. Did a couple Massey's, did a John Deere. Well, the John Deere needs more parts, but we got to it, got it tore down. And then I drove to Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee. I got a couple balers to do here in the Maryville, Tennessee. With Brett, setting up a couple balers for him. Then on to Kings Mountain, North Carolina, where my major rebuilds are still waiting. A couple balers, pull them apart, put new bearings in them, put them back together, set them up, and knock them out. And then I'll be on my way to West Virginia, up through Virginia. So, working my way home, guys. I should be there, let's say about a week and a half. We're down. I've driven down with the balers here in Knoxville area. I will be down to 10 balers left. So. Yes, I have, Aaron. A lot. It's wearing on me. I was quite cranky yesterday, and today's kind of reprieve. We're waiting on some parts and some people. Mondays are always a bad day, so we got laundry done, filled the camper up with fuel. We got the AC running because it is muggy down here. I'm going to probably do some resting up because I'm feeling better. I got some extra good sleep the other night. When I fall behind, guys, and like I need to be back in New York to get my farmers going and keep them happy, is I'm behind. I want to be back there before now, and I'm not going to begrade anybody. I feel great that I helped everybody that's along the way that I helped. I love it. I love it a lot. I mean, I feel great that you guys got them going. But it comes to a time now that I need to take care of the home turf. So, I'm not really taking any more jobs on the way home unless you're right in my route. If you're on my route, I'm not going to say no. I'll come in, take care of what you got going on. But like I said, my route now, guys, is Knoxville, Maryville, driving straight down to Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Then I'll start heading north. And I got I think there's 4 stops or so in West Virginia. I don't know where they're at. You guys want to hit Rachel up, 607-846-5959. And get on the route or whatever. I'm going to be probably coming right up 81, so you got to be close to 81 because I don't want to backtrack back and forth all over the place, guys. I'm really getting burned out on this driving thing. I probably should have just kept with 2 runs this year, but Rachel wants to do 1, so we're done. We'll just do another one next spring. I'm starting earlier next spring, guys. I will be heading south probably next year, the very end of February, right in the first day of March, so I can get these stuff blowed out before haying season starts up here. So I will be back in New York in I'm gonna say 2 weeks, and I will be back at Barber Tractor, which is New Holland, Binghamton, in Binghamton, New York. So Paul Barber, big shout out to him. Guys, he's been in contact with me. He knows my route along the way. He knows how much fun I have doing this. It's not fun, but I get a lot of enjoyment, guys, seeing that the balers work when they're done, and that's a relief to me and them. A lot of people don't care, and I do. I really do care, guys. I don't want you having that frustration. I remember it well when my dad was baling hay and the baler didn't work, and you're just trying to get the hay in, the rain's coming, or the rain's in the forecast, and it stresses you out a lot to try to get that hay put up. But the one thing I learned is I now have 38 square balers. So the likelihood of me having a bad day isn't much of anything, and I'm probably not going to do very many squares this year at all. If I do any, I might just do all my hay and baleage because I just don't have the time to play with it. But my balers will be going to the farm shows and baling, so they gets a little bit of a workout this year. So hey, Con. 14T video on what? What do you need on a 14T? I haven't uploaded much, guys, to my YouTube channel. I got to get back to that. You got to understand, I'm driving, repairing, and I'm doing live videos just so everybody gets in touch with where I'm at. And when I get home, it's got to be weekends. Definitely have to have you guys remind me, say, hey, how about some more videos? Go put up some 14T timing videos, put up some 24T. I'm going to try to do them as I work on them. I got lots of 14Ts to do when I get home. The guys know they pretty much drop off their baler. I let them take one of mine and just go baler hay with it. And then I said, so that doesn't put me under pressure to try to hurry up and get things done. Timing. Yeah, I could do that. I think it's on YouTube. I don't know what that runs. Text 607-846-5959. Send a text to Rachel. She'll have the price of that timing DVD on there. Or if you're not in a big hurry, I might actually do the 14T video when I get back live. Yeah, the guys, just so you know, John Deere has discontinued until their warehouses run out of parts for 14T John Deere, which it's not a big deal because I make a lot of the stuff now. I make the bands, I get the pickup teeth, I got bearings, the knotters. I got a bunch for. I don't have new stuff. I have a lot of used stuff. So, but any other questions, guys? We're hitting the 1 hour mark coming up. If you have any questions for me, I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee. Got a couple balers to do here in the next day or so. I got on earlier today because I was in a different time zone less than a week ago, so. Looking at comments. Where are you from, Bull Rider 87? Yeah, there's I got inspection videos, guys. When I get into the baler, guys, I get out. The first thing I do is go look at it, figure out what's going on with it. I always forget to record, so hopefully we get somebody this summer that helps Rachel with the kids. She could do it, or I have somebody just do the camera recording for me. Because I like to share the knowledge, guys. It's not a big deal. We have not set a date for the Knotter training course yet for this fall. It'll be free as always, guys. It'll be Thursday is a meet and greet Thursday night. Friday's a class. Saturdays and on hands, like we're going to be either in a building or outside, walking over the balers, discussing them. You guys can ask questions. And then Sunday, I give you a baler. You're gonna probably have somebody to partner with you, and I'll screw it up, and you figure out how to fix it. So you don't learn anything unless you turn some wrenches. Central Kentucky. Yeah, just hit Rachel up. I'm hopefully by June or July, guys, we'll have the internet thing set up, and you could just do a live video. You become my hands, you turn wrenches, and I walk you through on how to adjust it. So. It's gonna be a by hour pay by the hour deal through a credit card. It's gonna be a lot cheaper than paying me to come there and actually physically do it, but you're just gonna have to have the ability to adjust, turn wrenches and stuff. So, but anyways, anybody got any questions? Anything else you guys want to add? I'm praying for you all. Hope you guys all have a great harvest season this year. Less breakdowns, the better. When we get home, guys, if you need parts, call Rachel 607-846-5959. That's R&S Ag Service. If you guys need New Holland parts, call New Holland Binghamton. That's in Vestal, New York. It's now owned by Paul Barber, and it's Barber Tractor. So if you guys got any more questions, don't be afraid to call or text. I'll try to get to your texts as soon as I can. My watch just went off, so. But anyways, if you guys don't have nothing else for me, God bless you all. Have a great night. I will try to get into the next couple days. Give you guys an update when we get to Maryville, because there's a bunch of balers down there, some Massies, 336, 14T. They're all going to be in the field, and we're going to do some live video taking there. I'll try to get the old iPad here charged up and ready to go for that day. So it'll probably be Thursday afternoon, maybe Wednesday, late Wednesday afternoon, but we'll see. But anyways, guys, have a great day. Love y'all. God bless you.